Hey, and welcome back to UBAF, or in longer terms, Unapologetically Black and Fast. We're still here celebrating the Black speedrunning community, watching Black excellence and Black joy. And speaking of Black excellence, we have a run that I've been looking forward to since the schedule has come out. And I'm actually very, very glad to be here sitting in the front row watching this. We have the Bloodborne hitless any % showcase by someone who doesn't need an introduction, but we're going to give it to them anyway because they deserve it. A fantastic Bloodborne speedrunner in their own right. Someone who's done a lot to help actually organize this event, who deserves all your praise. And I'm hearing they're a lover of lukewarm hot dogs. Please,
I hate you so much.
Applause in chat for PleasantlyTwstd.
I hate you so much. I'm waiting until my camera comes up. I'm just going to wait till my camera comes up. Oh, wonderful. Hi, everyone. I'm PleasantlyTwstd. I do not like lukewarm hot dogs. I do not like, that's fake news. That's wrong.
I got the t-shirts to prove it.
I do. Anyway, hi, everybody. I'm PleasantlyTwstd. I am going to be doing a Bloodborne hitless showcase today. And as you can see, I may be dressed up a little bit differently than if you've seen me in my channel. I decided that I wanted to be above and beyond an extra, and I am actually going to show everyone why I'm dressed the way that I am really fast as I get the file set up. So if you've been in my channel, you've probably heard me mentioning I need to find a correct hairstyle. So I decided that we're going to cosplay while we do this today. And then I learned very quickly that that was a mistake because I can't breathe very well in this corset. Things are very tight and warm. And I have on comms with me the always wonderful, always fantastic Bloodborne queen herself, Miss GoesOnGhost.
Hello.
Ghost is going to be helping commentate as we go through and kind of discuss the strategies that we're going to be showing off for your no-hit any % showcase if you ever decide you want to do an any % run. I also have a couple of backup files in place for everybody in the event that there is an off chance that I eat a dirt sandwich. That might happen. I will just be very honest with everyone right now, but I'm going to stop talking and get into the run. So let's get started.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Phenomenal cosplay, by the way.
I put this together. It came up as a joke in my chat one night where people were like, wouldn't it be funny if she did the run in a top hat? Ha ha, ha ha ha. And I was like, yeah, that would be funny. And then I went behind the scenes. I was like, well, what if I just did my entire hunter?
What if I did that and a corset?
Yes. So I have the buckles on the corset. Like literally my entire body is just entrapped right now. It's kind of intense. The glasses were easy to find. I think the color contacts was probably the biggest one that I was worried about. Just because I was like, I need prescription contacts or prescription glasses. The glasses I did not find in prescription at all. But the contacts I did. And I was like, okay, I can make that work. So I'll try to commentate some of it as I go. But for the most...
So we start off with killing off this wolf with a backstab and a visceral, because otherwise it will take like maybe 100 slaps to kill him.
And that's the thing too, is that I don't have any weapons right now, so it literally is just open hand slaps with the world's most noodly arms.
Just wet noodle arms.
God, it's disgusting. I thought about cosplaying this outfit, but I didn't feel like trying to find a vest because that would have been a pain.
This is supposed to be a military veteran, and yet...
And yet. All right, is he clocked in? He's not clocked in. Come on. Clock on in, buddy. Grab this lever. And then we're gonna go over here, grab our first Molotovs.
These will be used against Gascoigne and their little like crystal lizards across the game.
He tried to get my ankles. There was an attempt that was made, but we're faster than him, so that's fine. And then we'll use it for different shards. We'll use them in gas coin. If things go well with gas coin, we won't need to use them, ideally.
Yeah, I was remembering my routing.
And then we're going to be doing, I think we use them predominantly for the shard people. I always forget what those little beasts are called.
Wandering Madness. And sometimes you'll use them on ROM if things don't go well.
God, I don't want to use them on ROM, but I've accepted that I might.
All right, starting off with the Saw Cleaver and Hunter Pistol, both the best gun and weapons in the game.
What I'm about to do here is not necessary. People who watch my channel know that I have a visceral hatred for Gehrman. I will kill him at every... Oh, you don't want the answer to that. There's a lot. That's a... That could be the entire...
He's a creep.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at he's a creep. Because if we go into detail, that would be the entire commentary run right there.
All right, then.
Yeah,
he deserved it.
Yeah, he absolutely deserved it. He absolutely deserved it.
It's a crime he's not on any %.
Yeah. But my commitment to everyone is when I finally get my any % run, first thing I'm doing is going straight into all bosses. I want to kill that man. I want to kill that man so bad. Oh, I can drag myself a little bit for commentary too. One of the hardest things about learning an any % run is learning how to continuously roll, as opposed to doing the leaping jump run thing that they do. Also, that man clocked in
because
way early.
Like Dark Souls 1, circle jump and circle roll are tied together. So, and it's depends on how fast you're running. If you're sprinting and do circle, you jump. And this can be a problem if you're used to the other games where you can sprint and just roll. Because then you do a jump and usually you just die because you don't get iframes on your jump, and you take counter hit damage and you take extra damage.
And that's probably one of the hardest things, because like I'll do it here. Doing that will get you messed up in a couple of different places, as opposed to just rolling it out. And then isn't there something different with the? You mentioned there's something with the iframes too.
Well, I know that there's no iframes on jumps. That's all I know.
Yeah. So we tried.
And we just talked to...
oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we just spoke to Eileen to get some Bolt Hunter marks. Usually those aren't required for any %, but they can be really helpful when you're still starting out and might have to like mark out of a fight to reset it.
Yeah. And I still find myself using them on occasion too, when things are just like, if I'm trying to practice and I don't want to reload. So one of the reasons I have all the extra files that I do is because, like I said, I have one of every boss available. So let's say things go really south on the very first boss of this run. I have a file available that we could just go back to him, or conversely, we could just skip to the next boss if we really felt so inclined. I'm going to try not to have to deploy the skipping bosses strategy. We're also going to try and beat this man up. There we go. Don't give me coins. Don't do it. Okay. He gave me vials. We're good now.
Nice.
Ally.
Allied. 100%. Oh! So, for people who have played Bloodborne, they know the entire lore behind this little girl. We don't care about what she's saying right now. We just want the box. And the reason we want the box is because it is going to set us up for... That's a weird placement I just did. It's going to set us up for the Father Gascoigne fight. There's multiple ways to do this fight. The way that I do it is... I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, like... maybe a 5 in safe? I mean, you're trying to do it no hit, so there's not really a guaranteed safe.
What's the rating? Like lower is safer or higher is safer?
Higher is safer.
I put it like at like an 8 or so,
Okay.
personally.
Yeah, because what we're going to do is we're going to use that in order to stagger him in the middle of his fight. Also, fun fact, you can just run past that pig.
All right, so that was a pig. I wasn't bugging. I
No.
was like, is that a pig?
That's a pig.
Yeah, there's giant pigs in this game.
Yeah. Other fun facts, the light little eyeball that you see in the upper right corner that says 0, when you break a certain threshold, I forget the number, you can actually see that those pigs have lots of eyeballs. It's great. It's terrifying, and it's great. All right, so for most of the bosses, I am going to find myself just being straight up quiet because I'm going to be focused on the boss, because the bosses are going to be the meat and potatoes of the entire run. So let's get started.
Right. So the music box that she picked up will stun Father Gascoigne and open him up for a backstab. And you can do that 3 times in human phase, and then he will immediately transform into a beast, and you can use it 1 more time to stun him, and then it just doesn't work anymore. So ideally, we're going to use the box all 4 of the times, nail every single backstab, and you should barely even have to fight this boss if all goes well.
This is also my favorite boss. I just want to put that out there for everybody. It's the first boss of the game, and I'm like, I love him, question mark? What the hell is
Oh god, camera.
I'll say, by the way, this is your reminder in Soulsborne games that the hardest boss is always the camera.
This is like one of the safest spots to be. The tombstones right here, like, just kind of break up his aggro and gives good cover.
Oh, he didn't do any attacks going back. I'm sad now. Sir, can you do an attack so I can get some breathing room? Thank you. He was behaving badly.
He's just like not a music guy? Like, why is the music box itself like stunning him like this?
So that's like the child will tell you that it's a favorite song of his that plays. And so when he listens to it, he starts to remember his family and his loved ones, because right now he's like just seconds away of becoming a beast, and he's like losing his humanity and sanity.
Oh, so the nostalgic gut punch.
Yep.
I just thought he hated like country music or something.
You know, if this was on PC, there'd be a billion mods of like different music coming out of that thing.
So unfortunately, I didn't get my last one. So now we have to improvise, which means that we're gonna have that instead.
All right. Clean.
Yep. I did take 1 hit because he was in a bad position for where he was up against the wall. But that's okay. Like I said, if I take the hits, it's not going to be the worst thing. We're still going to just show off the entire thing. Again, that's my favorite fight, and now like a lot of my anxieties are going to wash away. Both because
you really wanted to do well on the favorite fight.
Well, not even do well on the favorite fight. I knew that once I got past the first fight, I would be much better. And I can at least explain where the hits are happening, and they got to see the majority of the strategies, which Ghost kind of pointed out, which is you want to use the music box, you want to backstab, and then you just take him straight to the chiropractor. You just rearrange his back the entire fight. But because he was back up against the wall just a touch too close, I wasn't able to get the final one. Otherwise, that would have been a really clean fight. It was still a really clean fight in my personal opinion, and I got a parry off on him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just 1 hit.
Yeah. So that's my favorite fight. And then to answer your question, Jay, since I have a lot of running segment, because that's what I'm good at, is filling in the running segment with lore. It's not just the fact that the music box reminds him of his family and whatnot. It's also like if you listen to the girl for the rest of her stuff, she'll explain to you how the mother went out to go find him without the music box. And if you are an exploring type, which for my first playthrough of this I very much was, you will find out the fate of the mother along with how things went down. And it went down exactly the way you would expect them to. Exactly the way you expect
you can return the brooch if you choose to, or you can turn it into a blood gem and just never speak to the little child again.
I'm gonna listen for a second. I think
I'm guessing we don't go back to talk to the kids.
No, not no hit, absolutely not.
There's no value in it whatsoever.
Oh man, you got good dogs this time.
I got fantastic dogs on that. Like, so for everyone's context on why we both just made that comment. Sometimes those dogs will decide they really need to stretch their legs and they'll run past the stairs, or one will stop at the stairs and the other one will not. And it becomes nightmarish because if you have a loose dog, you have to actually kill that dog. And you can't kill it simply like I just did with a Molotov. You'd have to wait for it to come back around and then try to fight it. And dogs in all Soulsborne games suck.
I mean, you could just stop it right there. And like in any video game where you got to fight a dog, like it's just, I can't think of one dog that I fought in any game where it was like an enjoyable time. Because they got 4 legs, you got 2. They move a lot faster than you do.
I mean, you're not wrong at all. And like, of course, these dogs...
Nasty teeth,
mangled, matted fur. Depending on the game you're playing, it might be a matted, just multi-mess. Like, okay, I got a question for Jay since we're kind of going a lighthearted direction.
Oh, yeah?
Which dogs? Soulsborne dogs or Resident Evil dogs?
Soulsborne, easily.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it's because of like the mentality of like the Soulsborne AI, from what I know, is like when they gang up on you, when they've got numbers and how aggressive they get, like it's just a nightmare. Like at least with like Resident Evil dogs, you can pause the game and gather yourself. Like when you got in a fight with these dogs, like you gotta deal with that one way or another, and there's no escape from that until either they're gone or you're gone.
So yeah, dogs.
What? Bloodborne is special. It has 5 different variation of dogs, and they're all bad.
It's like as the dogs progress, they become increasingly worse. Okay, so where I'm going now is actually an optional boss. And there's 2 paths you can take when you beat Father Gascoigne. Option A, you can go to Bloodstarved Beast, or option B, you can go to Cleric Beast. We're gonna go to Bloodstarved Beast because we love ourselves. It's a lot further of a walk. There's more stuff that you have to deal with, yes. But the fight in general is much easier to deal with. And on top of that, you get better cookies overall by going this path. That and then no one really wants to fight Cleric Beast.
Yeah, BSB path is you get to pick up the Beast Blood pellets, which are basically essential for this entire run. If you fill up the Beasthood meter, you can like dole out 70% extra damage. You just wreck things, and you also go through the old workshop and pick up the doll set, which sells for I don't even know how many echoes, but you get like 10 levels from it.
So those things
VSP is also just
sorry.
Oh yeah, VSP is just a much easier boss, and if you go for Cleric Beast, you have to farm like 10k souls to use a key to open up the door to the Cathedral Ward. And what she was using are called pungent blood cocktails. It attracts beasts and animals. I don't know if you're familiar with the luring skulls from Dark Souls, but they work just like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say they remind me of like bait jars.
Yeah, they're like
yeah, that's exactly what they are.
They're bait jars. Now, keep in mind what Ghost said there is also extremely important. Beasts and animals. You can get them to work on like the townspeople because they are technically beasts, and you can get them to work on like every iteration of Doggo and whatnot. But if you're trying to use them on like an NPC character like Dejura or something like that, it's not going to work. Also, I always turn my camera around once I get here just to make sure I don't have anybody following me. They can't follow me into here, but it's always just something to see like whether or not you pulled aggro, and it's just an ease of mind type of thing. So now we're going to fight Bloodstarved Beast, and I'm going to resume letting Ghost do the thing.
We're about to see the pellet in action. You can see a little bar on the screen. She's going to do, in this case, a lot of backstabs to fill it up to increase her damage. Some people have asked before, like, after doing a backstab, to why you don't take the visceral, like the little riposte. And that is, at this point, your visceral is like not that strong because you haven't leveled it at all. And after you perform a backstab or parry someone, the next source of damage they take is doubled. So you actually are doling out a ton of damage while also building up your beasthood to get even more damage. And this is why you can do this much damage on this boss at
Basically.
level 10 and +0 weapon.
That is good to know. Also, this dude has like way too much skin on his face for me.
Yeah.
What is
This one, I find this boss like a particularly unnerving one because that's actually her skin that's like on her back that's been ripped off. And even there's like all sorts of like just torn out flesh. It's a very, very scary boss.
The monster design for this game is phenomenal.
Oh, that's too far away. I could take a backstab there, but I reacted too late. So I'm just gonna let her do her thing and be angry about life. To be fair, she has a good reason to be angry about life.
I think a fair amount of the beasts and bosses in this game do.
Yeah. Come on. You could do it. Ma'am. This is my least liked loot that she gets into with me. Oh shit.
Oh.
Sorry.
This is one of my favorite things I want to point out about watching people who are like skilled at these games run these games. Because most people are fighting and they're just like panic rolling all over the place, and you're just like, no, I'm gonna take 2 steps to the right and just let him do his thing.
Yeah.
So she got slow poisoned, which is since it came from an enemy, Bloodstarved Beast, it does count as a hit.
Yeah. If I would have hit 2 of my viscerals that I missed, that means 3 now, then we would have been fine. Although she's going through it too. Like she's not. Now you got your poison hit. You're not gonna get a actual hit. So yeah, that explosion that she does there, she gives you enough time to actually get situated and set up, where you can just go over and hit her again.
If she actually lets it off, the poison, she has a bit of a poison aura around where she did the attack.
And I might die.
And the meter just rapidly fills up.
This is one of the fights that I've been working on just in general. So I'm actually kind of happy that I died because since it's a showcase, I want to explain something about the showcase too. So there's a couple of fine points in the entire showcase that if you eat it on your run, it is not the technical end of your run. Yes, it's the end of your run because you took a hit. That part is a given. That part you can't undo. However, you can still continue and go forth and try and get yourself a PB. So for me personally, I am still actually doing much better than my usual PB. So I am going to naturally keep running. I'm going to keep running regardless. There's going to be certain points in the entire run that if you die at that point, your run is officially 86th. And that is why that makes the hitless kind of any percent, any category. A lot of them are particularly challenging just because some of those humps that you have to get over are very, very, very demanding. So we're not at one of those humps yet. The boss that's after Bloodstarved Beast, though, is going to be the first hump that if you mess it up, you can just go ahead and throw your file away. So what I mean by that is we're actually going to highlight a couple of things here and why we want to go to Bloodstarved Beast again. So Ghost had mentioned how you get a lot of beast blood pellets. I still have 4 to my name. If things go smoothly in that fight, you can get through it with 1. So we're not really in bad shape right now with that. This is going to get scary because we're going to run down the middle and you can see that there's a heckin' dang pupper. I want everyone to know that that pupper just died in the fire.
He just ran right into that little bonfire.
I heard the death. I actually heard the death and I was like, no, you're dead. You're dead.
It's never not funny.
That's almost as funny as the ROM possibilities we can get, but I don't know if we're going to get it because it's completely random. But if you wind up dying in the middle of your no-hit run, it's not the end of the world. That's what PBs are for. And you can, if you're still learning the run, you can touch the lamp that I just passed and then kind of shorten some of that kind of hike that you're doing. We didn't use any of our Molotovs on Garamond. Not Garamond, Gascoigne.
Gascoigne.
Gascoigne. I just want to murder Garamond. It's on my brain at all times.
Yeah, just the bloodlust is just there.
It's just there. But I still have plenty of Molotovs from Gascoigne, which is why I don't want to use them on him personally. We always roll there for, obviously, birds and then Jajura. Now, the door that I just ran past is actually a shortcut. So another strategy that you can use if you're learning your run is you can just open that door up and then go down the ladder. This is going to get spicy because I am going to try and do this without burning pungent. And as you can see, people are like, we can smell the black girl anger. So I'm just going to run. I'm going to run like my life depends on it, because it kind of does. And I'm also going to pray that my cosplay glasses are not falling off of my face. So for everyone who's paying attention, yes, that's me saying that they're falling off of my face. Like, I can feel them squeezing my nose bridge, and I'm very sad.
I was going to say, this has got to be like a double-edged sword that you're dealing with, because it's not like you can tilt your head back to fix the glasses, because then the hat might fall off.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And then my right earbud is also falling out. So basically, if you've seen my channel...
You should adjust yourself right before BSP.
Yeah, basically, if you've been to my channel even one time, this is basically a day ending in Y. It is a day ending in Y.
You need somebody to come in like one of the like the NASCAR pit stops. Just come in and just fix up everything, put the hat on tight, pick the glasses up.
All right.
Push the earbud in a little bit.
All right, the bud is in. We're good there. The glasses are up. That's another thing I want to share with everyone that is very critical and important. This is my first time doing this run in the cosplay. So I regret to inform everyone that it's true, mistakes were made. Mistakes were made heartily. You can actually parry that hit. I'm just too much of a chicken to do it, and I'm still learning it. Which is why she's going to do it in succession now. And something else I kind of want to highlight since we're back in here is her first phase is really nice, specifically because she's not moving really fast on you. It's when she...
I actually dislike phase 1 for that reason.
What did you say? Disliked it?
I dislike the phase 1 for that reason.
See, it allows me to get my bearings.
Yeah, but then she's so far away that you have to like
wait for her
to get back into the middle of the room, and then you can run past her. It's like, please just run at me.
You know, it's not often that you hear phrases like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and gamble and say I shouldn't have got that. Also, while we're here, Bloodborne is one of my favorite games, and I drag it out of love. Some of the hitboxes in this game are debatable on their best day.
Like that one right there. I'm not gonna lie.
The one I walk under?
Yeah.
I enjoy my walk under. It lets me keep my legs sturdy. I'm also... Streamer almost lost the fight on account of her earbuds.
Aggression.
She is giving you absolutely nothing.
Oh yeah. This is another thing that can be bought up really fast. So a lot of these fights that we're dealing with in this run are going to be kind of RNG driven. BSB is probably the first big one we deal with. Gascoigne gives you RNG, but he's a lot better controlled, plus you're using the music box. With her, you have...
I feel like I should also...
What's up?
I should point out that what we're doing is actually a little different than what you normally see in a no-hit. Most people actually throw pungents in the corner and try to kill her. And...
I'm upset because she did it in the wall. And for the first time... Oh, no, I gotta go this way. Yeah, I could talk about that once I get out of here. Ma'am, I don't know where you're going.
Yeah, I was just saying in that regard, it's a little more scripted, but not worth it, as we'll explain.
I hate it so much. That's the first time in a long time I've not got under that. But yeah, she is giving me garbage. I'm at the pot. Nope. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the file. because I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on it. But yeah, so Bloodstarved Beast is going to be your first one that comes through that is just super duper RNG heavy. It's super RNG heavy. And as
it looked like there was no way to force a pattern there.
Yeah, there's no like actual, okay, if I do X, I'm going to guarantee do Y. If she does this, then I know she's going to do this next. It quite literally is a case of you have to just wait for her to come up to you and then you'll just get the tell. Yeah. But that means I can show you something else that's important about the showcase if you ever want to do your own any percent run. So, as I kind of illustrated to everybody, I'm going to exit because I also don't want to use up all those mats because that would be sad. That would be sad. But something else that I did in preparation for this run, again, I know that I am like a nervous train wreck. I just always have been when it comes to this stuff because I like to do stuff very, very, very specifically, and I hope that things go well. But this is why, for this showcase, I have a file for everybody sitting right here. So what I could do is actually pick the file up here with a new reset of stuff, and then I can show you the next section, because otherwise everything that I have on this file is going to be a little bit low. So we're going to go back in. And this is something that if you're ever learning the run, it's very valid to do. You can set up stuff like this. You can also find out a way to do it and set it up with your computer before everyone comes in. I am very aware Bloodborne is not on PC. There's a backdoor to it. We do it with the PC. It's fine. But those are all ways to kind of just learn your fights and get everything situated. But that last one in particular, my RNG was especially horrendous. Like she said, give me nothing, and went with it. I think the first run I had of it was better feeling, honestly. Now that move that she does right there is the one that we ideally want to see. I lovingly call that her whippin' nene. What'd you say, Jay?
I laughed.
Yeah.
He just laughed.
I mean, look at it. Point to me where I'm wrong.
It's hard to notice anything beyond the flapping skin from my angle, to be honest with you. I can't get past that. That's what I see mostly.
It's her whippin' nene. I don't see what's wrong. I can't see chat right now, but can someone tell me if I'm lying, chat? Am I incorrect? Am I out of pocket? You can tell me.
I think chat is agreeing.
Okay. That's her whipping nene. See, she's doing it again just for us. Okay, that should be phase. I knew she was going to hit me with that too, because I read it wrong. Which means now she's going to do this 20 times. I would rather she does that. All right, she's out of here. So, another thing I want to point out to everyone, I'm going to mark. And I'm going to do that for two reasons. One, I don't have any antidotes to get rid of poison, and it would eat through all of my vials. Two, the big reason why I said if you die in the beginning of these, it doesn't matter. Literally, when I end that fight, I mark out and I drop all my echoes anyway. So the first two bosses, you get a little bit of leeway. If those are bosses that you're struggling on, that's fine. That's not a big deal. You have plenty of space and room to do that. You do want to be mindful of how many beast blood pellets you use, though. So now, what I'm going to do is make a change of attire.
Oh, we go.
The reason we wait until now to put this on and didn't like put it on when we first got it is because the hunter set has very low poison resistance. Like the foreign set actually has more, which is what we start with. So we fight the boss with that instead.
I'm trying to get it so that people can see. I worked hard on this, so I want everyone to enjoy my cosplay. Also, I was amazed to find prescription contacts. I almost put on lipstick, but I was like, I don't feel like wearing makeup today. I'm gonna be sweaty and scared, so no. So after Bloodstarved Beasts, as Ghost was talking about previously, we are now going to go and get doll clothes along with start grabbing our items. Throughout this entire run, we're going to level up a grand total of twice. And so the first one is the really big important one, because we're going to use Molotovs and we're going to throw them at the correct area. There you go, friend. To grab twin Bloodstone shards. In order to fully level up with twin Bloodstone shards, you need a grand total of 16.
Okay, so those are like basically like the the weapon level up stones, right? Like in the other Soulsborne games.
Yes. Mm-hmm. We point on the way down just because it slows down your walking cadence, and that allows you to actually hit that bottom part that you need. And
you're not required to do it. You can like do it yourself, but like that's so much easier so you don't like accidentally like run off the edge.
Yeah. And I think it was actually just last night when I was practicing that I accidentally forgot to point and I ran off the edge. And then as a result, instead of landing on that first pier, I bounced off of it and then landed on the bottom one, which kills your health. So this is the doll set that Ghost was talking about as well.
Please don't forget to heal.
I'm not.
Just, I saw a vision and...
No, I wasn't going to forget to heal because we're just going to eat all that health anyway, again. But that's the doll set, and we're going to use that to just get a bunch of echoes. Up the edge. Fall down. We love this.
I think you picked up the umbilical cord too, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, need that for the insight to get the shards later.
Yes.
And one thing I don't think that we went over yet, I know this to be true already, but fall damage does not count towards hits in a hitless run. Right?
It does not, so long as it does not kill you.
Yep.
So Ghost was mentioning how I was grabbing insight from that umbilical cord. We're going to use that insight to go forth and buy the rest of the shards that we need.
For the first 3 level ups, we're going to still need to pick stuff up.
But then for the next wave of them, we'll be fine. Fun, quirky...
Remember how you can't menu, Jerry?
I was just about to say, fun, quirky fact. You can't menu when you're doing stuff, unlike the other Soulsborne games.
I don't know why they did that.
Bloodborne is my favorite Soulsborne game. So, I'm going to take a moment to explain something here before we get into the Amelia fight, which I'll let Ghost explain. So, I had said a moment ago that if you die on Bloodstarved Beast or you die on Father Gascoigne, it's not the end of the world. However, if you die to Amelia, which is who we're about to go fight, now you put yourself in a problem territory. Because you see the fire papers that we have here in the upper left? You have exactly 3, and you have 3 people who you need to apply to their face very vigorously. 1 is Amelia, 2 is Shadows of Yharnam, which is the next boss, and then 3 is Rom, which is the boss after that. You are not getting any more fire papers in this run. So if you eat it to Amelia or Shadows, I'm not going to say you gotta wrap it up, but I would strongly encourage you wrap it up. If you lose it on Rom, it's annoying, but it's still doable. But with Amelia and Shadows, you definitely want that extra damage output because this fight is extremely tight, and then the Shadows fight is the hardest fight of the entire run.
Amelia I would consider the most important because if you do not have fire paper, the strat will not work at all.
That important. I can't wait to see how this goes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So she's going to put Amelia in a stagger lock. So first going to do the left arm, right leg, left leg, one little hit to the head, visceral. Gonna hit the left leg again to get her to stagger, like that. Okay, she missed a hit, but this is still
gonna make it.
something she can salvage. Amelia's gonna do a limb heal right now.
I was wondering what she was going to do next.
It seems very hard to try to predict these attacks when they're that close to them. It's just fur flying around.
Yeah, camera's really bad with Amelia if you don't like position yourself well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing about Amelia's attacks that I learned way back yonder, even in my original playthrough, is that Amelia suffers from big boss issues. And why I call them big boss issues is because she was one of the many bosses in my first playthrough that the reason I got her so quickly is because I just sat and I ate her ankles. And a lot of her attacks tend to be forward facing. She has a good handful of them that can sweep around. So there was a few that I dodged where I was behind her and she swept behind her. You want to watch out for stuff like that. She has another one where she'll sweep forward and then she'll scoop back, even if you're in front of her, so she can hit you twice. And since our health is so low, because we're not leveling vitality, it can and will kill you. So
something else.
Go ahead.
Going back to like needing things to go right the first time, even if you decided to like try to use a second fire paper on her and like just forego it on shadows or ROM. The reason the strat works the way it does is that when you enter the fight for the first time, you're already in the middle of the room. So when you like get to her, she's only just putting her arm down. If you go there from the fog wall, she has more time to put her arm down and actually fight you. So you literally just cannot do the same strat at all because you don't have the spacing to do it.
And there's actually a couple of bosses that you'll run into that with, where getting them off the jump is more ideal than trying to go in through a fog wall. So we saw it a little bit with Bloodstarved Beast earlier, where when you walk in, she's further back, and that gives you more space to use a Beast Blood pellet and get set up. When you go in with the fog wall, however, she starts a little bit further up. And so now it's a little bit tighter. These guys are jerks and they will absolutely kill your run.
I don't think we can get into it now, but there's a very fun glitch that can happen with that enemy. Basically, they can actually kill you as you're warping out to the dream, which they're not supposed to do. But they have a special torch attack that can actually hit you while you're marking out, so you can just die there.
That seems unfair.
You remember how we said...
It's because of some janky coding.
Yeah, remember how we said Bloodborne is a perfect game that should never be criticized? That's what we're talking about when we say that. Again, I love Bloodborne two pieces, but there are moments. Oh, there are moments. So this guy that's coming behind me is particularly interesting because sometimes he doesn't pay attention to the pungent, like, just there. So you have to be very mindful of the fact that A, you can hear him coming, and then B, it's wise to just watch behind you anywho. When you go to grab those backup items, you absolutely want to just keep an eye out for him.
Yeah. Good thing he like vocally telegraphed his attack. That was helpful for you.
Well, if you play it enough, there's several things at once that can happen. You can hear their footsteps. If they have axes that they drag on the ground, you can hear the axe, you can hear the torch. And then on top of that, if you're really keen, you can see the torch light coming up behind you. So yeah.
So if you're wondering why we just killed those dogs there, it's because once you enter this little hut to get those elixirs, the cage is open, and then they will like swarm you, so you want to kill them.
I kind of figured that was the case. I knew those dogs wasn't going to sit in those cages this whole time.
That's right. What if they did? That'd be really funny.
Did I put on my Molotovs? I did.
So what was that thing you just activated?
This is a blue elixir. Wow. What a nerd. This is a blue elixir, and what it does is it makes you appear invisible. So you're not completely invisible. You saw that guy just swatted at me. However, it does prevent enemies from aggroing to you as fast. So if I didn't pop that blue elixir, the path that I took to get over here, it would have been actually interrupted by all those people I ran through. The blue elixir...
Along with the enemies up above that throw Molotovs at you.
I thought I heard the axe.
You're good.
Yep, I'm good. There you go.
Elixirs are kind of interesting in the way they work. They basically, around your character is just like a little aggro circle, and when enemies enter it, they can see you. The blue elixir makes it smaller, so if you get close to an enemy, it can find you, but it takes long for them to notice you. You can be like a little ways from an enemy and they won't see you, and you can run past an enemy much easier, and they will also lose aggro a lot easier.
Yeah, so you're not fully invisible. You're like Kel Mitchell and Mystery Men level invisible.
Basically.
Got it.
I would appreciate if you didn't try to make me laugh. I already took hits.
I'm invisible. Can you see me?
Oh my god. But yeah, that's exactly it. So you use those to get around places a little bit safer. And we're going to use the blue elixirs multiple times in this run to do exactly that. There's going to be times where I have to path to bosses where it's just littered with enemies that we don't want to deal with. And I have to fix my earbud. That was a safe spot to do so. And there's going to be other times where you just frankly don't want to deal with things. So
there was the snake again.
I saw it. He fell. So I'm running through this forest from hell because I'm grabbing all of the twin bloodstone shards that I need. And if you've played this game, you know that this forest is abysmal to navigate. So this is a lot of what we're doing right here, and the next boss is probably one of the biggest humps for many runners, period. Just because you have to learn your pathing so you can get all your stone shards, and you have to remember where you're going in order to make sure you can get back to the starting area safely. But then after that, you have to go deal with these snakes in a trench coat. But there is a solace and a light at the end of the tunnel for that. So I had mentioned earlier the part where if you die to Amelia and you lose your papers, you are better off just kind of kicking the can. And then I also mentioned if you die in this section, it will be the end of your run. And there's a reason for that. So in Bloodborne, for those of you who don't know, this is true for all the Souls games. If you die once, you drop your echoes. If you die the second time and you haven't picked them up, those echoes are gone. The pathing between Amelia to Shadows is particularly scary because I have to do all the stuff I just did, and I have to make sure I don't eat dirt twice in a row. Because if I lose the echoes that I have right here, then to put it plainly, the run cannot be completed. Not without going around, grinding, and grabbing up a bunch of extra stuff.
Which would not be worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be worth it at all. And as a follow-up to that, someone might even say, well, didn't you get echoes from Bloodstarved Beast? Why didn't you just hold on to those? Mathematically speaking, since we have access to doll clothes and other things, you just don't need them. So it's just less stress that way.
Also, if you haven't leveled up yet and are in the woods, you would lose those echoes anyway.
Mm-hmm. So I'm actually going to eat some more Scooby snacks because we like to use our insight efficiently. So unlike the fire paper and the beast blood pellets, you can actually pick up a few more pungents. It's not a bad idea to do so because as you've kind of seen thus far, sometimes free throwing doesn't go, get out of here, Gehrman. Sometimes free throwing doesn't go the way you want it to. And so you might wind up using extras of things. Yeah. But here we have our first wave of level ups. And all those twin stone shards I just picked up, it's exactly 16 to get you to a saw cleaver +6. Which, considering...
Don't forget your gems.
Oh, God.
Don't forget your gems.
Thank you so much. I got caught up in talking. Which, considering you're halfway through the game, that's pretty decent. And then you put on your gem. The gem here is very important. As you heard, Ghost kind of just say, don't forget your gem. This gem gives you additional attack up. But then specifically, the biggest reason we want this is because it gives you additional attack up on top of that if your health is full. So now we're going to have a +10% bonus to all of our attacks or physical attacks at least, so long as our health is full.
This gem is kind of on the weaker side because it's so early game, but later on we're going to find gems that increase your damage by 18%. Like, and when you go beyond any percent, you'll get like 2 of those gems and more. Like your damage just like triple folds. Gems like play a huge part in how much damage you do.
And then you want to go to 25 strength and 20 skill. The strength because that's just raw damage output. The skill because it helps with your, I want to say your visceral / backstabbing damage.
Oh, repeat that again?
For the skill stat, when you push it to 20, because we push strength for raw damage, and then we push skill for additional damage.
Yeah. It does help your viscerals, and I have to be honest, I actually don't know why it's that specific numbers. My assumption is that those just net into the most damage you can deal. Like it's just the balance of stats, because that's how they do it on speedruns as well.
I was gonna just write it off as from soft nonsense, because there's a lot of things in these games that it's just like, but why?
Like why is 4 the lowest number?
I just work here. Okay, before we get moving, I push my glasses up. All right, we're good now. So we go through all that terrifying stuff, and that's one of 2 level ups that we're going to do for the entire run. Oh my god, I didn't take fall damage there. What a blessed day.
Blessed?
I usually always take fall damage there.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how y'all navigate these woods, because literally everything has looked the same to me for like the last 15 minutes of forest time, I think it was. It's just, everything looks exactly the same.
It's just a lot of like practice.
Yeah.
And nailing it down.
Yeah, like first playthrough forest is horrible. I will be very, very just forward in saying that. First playthrough forest, trying to navigate around here, and especially with all these snakes and stuff, no, it's not a good time. It is not a good time, and it's for exactly what you said. The entire thing looks very same. So we got more of Jay's favorite. We got some pigs.
Oh, my boys.
That's your boy. We're gonna run past him.
One tip I will give for the Forbidden Woods is that if you're trying to get to shadows, if you follow the road, you'll get to them.
Can we name the pigs? Can we call that one Peppa?
Yeah, we can call that one Peppa. That's fine. I mean, I got names for everybody. Because let's see. Father Gascoigne, I call Daddy Gassy, because he's my favorite. Bloodstarved Beast, I call her Flapjackal, courtesy of the wine cellar. I did not make that name. Someone in the wine cellar did. And then Amelia, I just say it's Dat Girl Amelia, but it's also because it's Dat Girl Amelia. Like, she's the goat. Well, actually, she's the dog, but she's the cleric beast. You know, we'll just pass it. And then for this one, I don't have any names for them. I just call them 3 snakes in a trench coat.
Ah, my old employers.
So this fight is especially bad. I'm going to let Ghost do some of the heavy talking here.
I remember this fight, and I immediately got PTSD. Yep, this fight.
Yeah, this... It's not hard to explain why this fight is hard. It's literally 3 enemies. So, with the Shadows of Yharnam, we want to get the Katana Scimitar main shadow over there, and the Pyro Fireball shadow down to about 1/4 health. Because once a shadow like gets to that point, they'll start doing a phase transition, and during that phase transition, you kill one of the shadows, and finish off the other, and then you can put the candle shadow in like an AI loop. Because if you hit him once, he just sidesteps, and you just keep doing that, and he literally just doesn't do anything.
Also, to kind of indicate how much of a pain this fight is, it's a great fight, don't get me wrong, but as you can tell just from trying to explain it while not playing it, this fight causes psychic damage.
I'm just watching and I'm already getting mad, like how he got fire and it got like tracking.
Yeah.
Man. First phase is the one I think is very good. Second phase is just absurd with when they have those 2 stretchy arm attacks. So most of the fight is just trying to keep like all three shadows in camera to see what they're all doing, to know when it's safe to attack one and how many times you can attack them. You can use the tombstones to kind of break aggro, especially that big one. I often have like Katana Boy stuck on there, and I can get a few hits on Pyro Boy.
One of the things I kind of personally started deploying that you don't have to deploy, but it helps me, is whenever I land a hit, I have a tendency to just roll out the way. Just because anyone, again, who's played a Soulsborne game will tell you, the final boss is actually always the camera. And trying to make sure that you have all three of them in your view at all times is already challenging. But then taking the hit and then not watching your camera for that half a second will absolutely get you tore up.
Truly.
Yeah. I've seen, like, people attack one shadow and just completely out of nowhere, another one just sneaks up right up on them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look away
fun
for a
thing about
second.
those fireballs is that they slightly home in on you, like a little bit, and they'll like curve around tombstones.
Yeah, that's another thing that's fun about this fight. So I can talk a little bit about it because it's kind of a mixed bag of how to feel about it. Because as you can see too, whenever he's doing the fire, there's oftentimes that if you're still walking, it'll just whiff past you. But then you have to deal with the fact that, yeah, it can curve around the tombstone when it feels like it, or perfectly thread the needle when it feels like it. Nope.
It doesn't feel like it feels like it has different tracking different times. Like sometimes it'll curve harder than others.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
I don't know if it's just
Lord
the camera
knows I have
angles
no
playing
idea how
tricks
this
on my
game is
eyes,
programmed.
or if that's just how it's working. It might just be the camera angles.
All right, I'm gonna stop attacking Pyro Boy because he is at his threshold that if I hit him again, he's gonna phase. And as Ghost kind of mentioned, if I hit him again, there is not like, oh, one of them will phase. No, they will all three phase.
Yeah, and you want both Pyro and Katana to be at like as minimum health as possible.
Now, one thing that is nice about the fireballs is that they have a stopping point. So like they can only travel so far before it's like, okay, we'll just stop chasing you, whatever, it's fine. Oh, he got blocked by his homie. That would have been perfect. But a lot of this fight is really just patience, extreme patience, and keeping your eye on everything that you can at once. Making sure you're rotating to keep up with things when it changes. If there's a hit that you're going to try and do and you're debating on if it'll hit, I will say in earnest, as someone who's done this fight hundreds of times now, if you think you're going to get hit, don't go for it. Just, if the thought passes your mind, I honestly don't go for it. Something else about the caster boy in particular that he did do earlier is that even though he's predominantly casting, he does have melee in his kit. So if you get too comfortable, nope, I don't like that. If you get too comfortable, he will take his Morning Star and bop you right in the face with it.
I didn't even notice he had a Morning Star.
Yep, he has one.
Yeah, it's a very fast attack too.
There.
And I've had it where he can time it at a weird point. So like he'll do it while he's like 10 feet away from you. So like basically as soon as you start his attack, he does his as well. So you just trade. He's a bit of a troll.
Yeah. Nope, I'm not gonna go for that either. There we go. I think we're good to move on. He has like...
I personally believe it.
Yeah, I think we're good. So...
It's okay, now she's gonna start applying her buffs, and The reason we didn't do this from the beginning is because we need them right now.
So, about what's the time length on the buffs?
About 60 seconds, I think. Okay, so she's killing Pyro Boy first. And now gonna try to finish off Katana.
Yep, and he finished me off. Yeah, it's a hard fight.
Yeah.
It is a hard fight.
That's a lot of patience, and then just jumping into it like that.
And so
that's it.
But this one I was prepared ahead of time, super hard. And I am so sorry to everyone too, because I know people are going to be in chat like, they said this is a hitless showcase, but she's gotten hit on every single boss. It's a hard run. It's a hard run. I also should have changed it to cosplay percent. In hindsight, I should have changed it to cosplay percent. But like, yeah, Shadows is one of the ones that like, even for how long it took me, we could probably still talk about Shadows much, much more in earnest, in absolute earnest. Because once you get to that second phase, the second phase is both like your moment of relief, but also the most horrifying moment. Because another thing I was trying to do there was get the two of them together so that they could be transitioned together. And so what I mean by that is literally you want the fire casting one to be as close to the, boom, it's right there. That fight never failed. What are you talking about? You want the caster to be as close to the scimitar one as possible, because when you kill the caster, you have to immediately focus fire on that scimitar one. Like it's a non-negotiable thing. It is a non-negotiable thing, because as you saw, if they start getting space, if they start backing up, if they back away and you run out of stamina, there's so many things that can go wrong in that fight, and it's very, very easy for it to go wrong in that fight. But the big thing is you want to get that second one down ASAP, and you don't want them to do moves, because as you saw, he gets stretchy arms because there's snakes in a trench coat. And at that juncture, it's just, you'll die. If those hit you, you'll die, because you're not going to have the health to withstand it. So
also, it hit me just now what you meant by snakes in a trench coat. I didn't know you meant like literal snakes in trench coats.
Yeah, those are snakes.
I was just like thinking you meant snakes because like they're just like annoying and they're going to try to backstab you and hit you off camera. Like, no, actual snakes popped out at some point.
Those are snakes. Those are actual literal snakes in a trench coat. Well, that and then I think part of the deep lore is that aren't they charred bodies too? They're burnt up or something?
Yeah, if like you can't see this normally because you can never get close enough to do it, but if you like kind of like look through their like hood, you'll just see this like really, really low res, low poly. We have these bugs following her.
Yeah, they like to follow
Now
me.
that looks scary, but normally they'll actually lose aggro, so we'll see if they did.
Okay, he was
he's
blocked you out. He was completely taking
he's right
over the
there.
camera.
Oh yeah, so those bugs, it's kind of tough to shake them. They can be done, but I mean, it's hard to do. And
oh, Vanessa, we might get the moment, so maybe this is a blessing.
yeah. Oh, if we get the moment, I'm gonna be so happy. You have no idea. Oh my God, he wants to. He wants to so bad, so bad. Do it. Do it.
Give it to us.
No! Okay, so me and Ghost were hoping that he was gonna follow me downstairs, because sometimes he's just employee of the year and he's just like, no, I'm gonna get that hunter. And when you fall into the lake, it takes you down to meet up with the fifth boss of the run, which is Rom. The problem is the game knows that you're coming down here, so it's auto-programmed to be like, hey, let the hunter down here, this is a boss fight. The guy who chases you does not get that luxury. So when he follows you down here, it literally is just this splat of just absolute deceit and depression of him dying right on the floor. And that's why I rolled when we got down here, because if you don't roll, he can land on top of you.
And that is a hit because of the stagger.
So as you can see here, I have one fire paper left. I'm going to keep all my Molotovs in case we have to go into phase 2, but we're going to try our best.
The worst possible example of taking your job too seriously.
Lord Jesus. Speaking of, we want these to take their job too seriously. So the Rom fight is interesting And it's interesting because you have Rom in the center and then you have all the spooters. And to do this fight in no hit, you want to get rid of these spooters first, and then you and Rom can have a very intimate discussion, an extremely intimate discussion. You might even say it's overly intimate.
I'm trying to see, are those exactly 8 legs on the spider? So am I counting 10?
I could try to look. Hold on.
No, I got this. You focus on the fight.
I will say, I could try to look. The spiders are not something you want to take super lightly because they do have their own attack kit. And even though they're all clumping together and it looks like they're not doing much, the spiders can and will come for your neck. Oh, he dropped a pebble for me.
It's that lull you to sleep. Like, you think one is not paying attention, but the other 4 behind it is just waiting and ready.
Right.
Yeah, the AI on his little guys it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get them to bait a little bit. And yeah, if you see one moving forward towards you, honestly, just kind of back out. Because, like, unless you can guarantee that you can get that kill, you're going to get hit by one of them. And these guys, you're far enough in the game. This is the 5th boss of the run. This is far enough along that if they hit you twice, you will die.
They've also got a couple of ranged attacks. Not very far, but enough to catch you off guard if you're not expecting it.
Of note, particularly, they can spit on you, but also they boo-boo. And he has turned perfectly 2 times in a row now.
Yeah, and if anyone's wondering like why she's sometimes doing like 300 damage in 2, it's because if you hit the head, you do way less damage.
Their heads are super resilient, which is why we're going to try and aim for the sides. But like I said, if you see a spider even move funny, it is 100% valid to be like, nope, let me back out for a second. Because they can spit on you, they can boo-boo on you, they can swing at you while stationary, they can double swing at you while stationary. Oh, I didn't like that. Get away from me. They can jump.
All right, they are cleared.
Yep. They can do all types of stuff.
Rom time.
Is he just backing up without his bodyguards?
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Just like, oh
Those
no.
might be her children, but she doesn't seem to care. At least not right now.
She's more focused on the part where it's like, there's someone here with me and I don't want this.
Mother of the Year.
So if we are smacking her in the face right now because we're trying to build up our beasthood all the way up, I mentioned earlier that the more it's filled up, the more damage you deal. And we want max possible damage for a kind of a stagger lock strat, a little bit like Amelia. Right, and you're able to, with enough damage, you can block her teleport.
But I hit her head. So we are going to see if we're going to need to deploy these. Where is she? So
Please use the Molotovs.
okay,
please.
okay, I'll use the Molotovs.
Please don't run in and die.
I'll use the Molotovs. We'll have to explain to everyone why that happened just now. On multiple levels.
So when she's in 2nd and 3rd phase, now she actually has a kit of attacks. Most of them are ranged until you get to 3rd phase where she actually has melee. And to avoid having to like mow down every single spider here, we're trying to pot shot her with Molotovs.
I'm disappointed in you not screaming Kobe with every throw.
That man almost touched me. I don't scream Kobe with every
Employee
throw
of the year.
because I am not Kobe. That is how you resolve that.
But it helps you, you know, this is a scientific theory that if you do scream Kobe and or Jordan with every shot, it helps your accuracy.
Kobe. There. Oh
Look,
my God,
see?
you're right.
It worked.
This is scientifically proven. We've been in the lab with this for years.
All right. Kobe. Oh, nope.
Oh, she raised up. Okay,
Yeah.
you got this. One more.
Kobe! No!
Oh, did it hit? No.
No, it didn't.
Okay, now I would go in and just
Bop her.
mow her down.
All right.
Oh, the spiders are still like they don't die immediately. Oh, that would have been.
No.
They do not. They can kill you.
Yeah, that's why when I hit her, I rolled out. Hey, we got a no hit on the books though.
Hey.
Yeah.
See, chat? I don't see chat at all, but I promise I know what I'm doing. I can't scratch my boob. The problem on deck is that I can't scratch my boob.
You've really got everything.
No hit runner that's ever run has experienced this before, just so you know.
I think that's going to be when I get my run officially. I'm going to have to be wearing the cosplay now so that I can be like, I'm the first black non-man and I'm the first cosplayer to be like, hi, I do no hits in cosplay. Don't do that. It makes your boobs itchy. It makes your boobs itchy. But yeah, so that was ROM. And you actually got to see the extended strat. And depending on how we're doing on time, I might be able to go back and explain what the stagger lock strat should look like. Emphasis on should. So we're in another terrifying walking segment because I have 43,000 echoes and I need to hold on to these, not just through this area, but also through the next boss. However, it's not as bad as earlier where our determination is by the number of papers we have, because that was our last fire paper. We're done with fire paper. For the rest of the run, we're going to be using lightning paper. And those we will have in abundance.
Yeah, we're going to pick up a total of 8.
Mm-hmm.
And just so you know, there is 3 more bosses left, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the fire paper on those 3 bosses is the scariest part, just because Shadows is a rough fight, but then you need those papers for other fights. I don't know why I just did that, but that's fine. Oh. It's random. I don't know why that just happened, but it's fine.
Got this.
Oh, she still lived.
See?
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, she can sometimes live. So, it's... If there's anyone who is... Well, first we would take a blue elixir there, so if anyone knows that, they might wonder why not just take a blue elixir. It's because when you use a pellet or a blue elixir, you aren't able to apply a blue elixir or a pellet or another one until it's completely worn off.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just...
Negates each other?
Yeah, you just can't overwrite a buff like that, which is really annoying.
Yeah, it's kind of obnoxious if we're being blunt. So I am going to... I should be running off of it here in a moment. I have a little bit of time now, so... we're gonna kill her.
This staggers them, and also makes it so when you kill them, they actually stay dead.
And then me using that pellet...
I'm glad I had...
You're glad you had
I was about to say, I'm glad I have the foresight to silence my alarms.
Nice.
Thank you for reminding me.
So yeah, we use the blue elixir in there because there's not 1, not 2, but 3 NPCs in there. Anyone who has made it through a full playthrough of Bloodborne and got to Yargul in the second phase of the game will tell you that it is not a good time. Absolutely not a good time. Because it's not like you can just isolate them. They will chase you. They will chase you like they owe you, or like you owe them money. They will chase you like you talked bad about their mom. They will chase you as though you are the most hated person in all of Yharnam. Which, for all intents and purposes, that's pretty true.
You kind of are, right? You're Yharnam's most wanted.
Right. I was like,
I did do all those things.
Yeah, that's kind of true. And they are not exactly lightweight NPCs. They hit like trucks, and they have the health to back it. And go over here and grab our next gem.
This is one of the 18% ups.
I'm gonna post up here. Let that man practice his gunfire on a wall. And then we're gonna run on up. Yep, we're gonna let him attack us and have no sound file for it. I didn't hear his attack sound at all. I just saw the movement.
I didn't hear him charge up.
We'll be hearing sound pretty soon.
This particular
I'm
walkway...
like listening for the caskets.
Yeah. This particular area is dangerous because there are caskets that are on the ramp up above you, and they can spit on you. They can absolutely spit on you.
There's a sound cue, though, so you can hear it. You can listen for it and be prepared.
So I am going to take this moment to fix my face, drop this for this. I'm actually going to put it back up to full.
You're going to want... There we go.
Yep.
There you
I
go.
was going to say I need to get it back up to full. And now we are on the 6th boss, which is the One Reborn. I'm going to adjust all my stuff accordingly. Take this time to fix my earbuds, fix my glasses. Maybe adjust the boob. Okay, we're good. I adjusted the boob. Let's go.
So this boss is disgusting.
He's vile. Absolutely foul.
It seems like every boss has been trying to one-up the previous one.
Honestly, I bet. So she is waiting behind the pillars for the spit so that when she kills these maidens, she will not get spat on. And the reason we're killing these women is that they will fire fireballs at you down below if you let them.
And that sounds like what, about 6 different added challenges that we don't need?
Yep.
Is now where I tell the story about how when I first fought this boss, I didn't know these women were up here.
Is now the right time for me to say me too?
I just didn't know they were here. I was just like, what are these fireballs? They suck. And then people in chat afterwards is like, there are people upstairs. Oh.
Yeah, and you can reach them. What? So, more stagger locking. Out of all the bosses, this is like the one boss that you absolutely have to stagger lock. This is like a boss that's basically impossible to do no-hit if you actually let him fight.
Oh.
He just has just a whole slew of just awful attacks like vomit that reaches the entire arena, kicking legs everywhere, these little small AoEs on his limbs, like, it's just terrible.
I love how this fight has literally just been one limb at a time.
Yep. Bam.
It was the principle. For everyone who's watching, I needed to make it clear. I had to make a statement with that last hit. You don't have to charge R2 that, but the last couple of nights that I've been practicing him, he has managed to get exactly 1 AoE off on me and give a hit. So since he decided to get on the GDQ stage and act right, I had to make a lasting statement. You don't have to do that, but it was the principle.
It feels good.
That was no hit too.
Heads up.
Yeah.
That was a nice. That was a real clean One Reborn.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm hyped for the next boss, though.
So everyone,
It's one of your favorites, Vanessa.
yeah, the reason Ghost is hype is because this is the second to last boss of the run, and I hate this man with a fiery passion. Because my first time playing him, he was the boss that actually made me aggravated. He was
Is
the boss
this the
that
dude in the library?
Yeah, you can call it a library. That's fine.
Yeah, something like that. I remember this boss. I had some words for him too, but I can't say them right now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we are PG. We are great people. We are PG. Yep, we sure are.
I had to put Goes on Dankies in the chat because I felt like it.
I mean, Goes on Dankies is a pretty fire emote, and you absolutely should. Anyone who's subbed to Ghost, if you could drop off your Goes on Dankies, that would make me, the runner, feel absolutely fantastic. Also, Ghost, I'm going to laugh forever if my entire... Nope, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to wait and see.
Don't put that energy out there.
I'm not going to say it. I think you know what I was about to say, but I'm not going to say it.
I don't actually, so I'm like chomping at the bit.
So you throw a pungent on that dude that's behind us, because he absolutely will come back around and be like, that don't stink no more. So what is this? Also, this area introduces a mechanic that we haven't seen in this run yet, and that is Frenzy, which we'll talk about after we come back from downstairs. Because as I mentioned...
Oh man, is there a lot to talk about here?
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. So I had mentioned before that this part is mildly scary because of the fact that after you do the Shadows of Yharnam, you have to get from Shadows through Rom and One Reborn without dying, and then finish out the rest of your level ups. Which I feel like that iteration of the run isn't nearly as bad as the initial one of going from Amelia all the way through to get your stuff for Shadows.
Very well.
That, like, the forest is legitimately scary. So we're gonna throw down some stuff in strength. We're gonna throw down some skill. I'm gonna eat my Scooby snack. When you kill Rom, you get a Kin Cold Blood. Fun facts that I found out about when I was first learning this run months upon months ago. Bloodborne is the only one where you want to eat the things over selling them because you actually will get more echoes by eating them than selling them.
Yep.
In other Dark Souls games, eating or selling gives the same amount. So yeah, if you get Scooby snacks, or they're actually cold bloods, but I call them Scooby snacks. If you get Scooby snacks, you gotta eat them.
As much of a body horror game as this feels like, that tracks.
Yeah.
Just grotesque. Everything is grotesque. Just eat it.
Yep, you gotta eat it. So we're gonna use the chunks that we've picked up to push to 8. This is our final level up for the weapon. We're not gonna worry about trying to push it to 9 or 10. That will go outside of things that we need to do. And then I am going to throw on this other gem that we just picked up not too long ago, so that now I get the plus 10% damage at full health, but then I also get the plus 18% damage. Because since we're not leveling up our vitality and other things, and we're going with very, very limited resources, we want to put on as much stuff as we can to help just boost that damage. You probably could go get other gems, you probably could level up more, but in earnest, you don't need to. You really don't need to. I don't have any mollies. So we're gonna take, we'll buy 4 of these. And then I'm gonna spend some insight too. The things that I'm buying...
And since we're not leveling up anymore, it does not matter very much if you die.
Correct. So I'm just doing some last minute shopping. All the stuff that I'm buying, honestly speaking, you don't need it. But I like to just have spares on hand as a just in case. Because Pungents you can re-up, Vials you can re-up. You technically can re-up your Molotovs too, but they get more expensive as the game progresses. And the items that you won't be able to buy in this particular run will be your Beast Blood pellets and your blue elixirs. Beast Blood pellets, that's not the biggest of big deals. It kind of falls under who cares, because you have plenty of them for the route that we're doing. You absolutely have plenty of them. The blue elixirs, it gets a little sketchy because you technically have exactly enough to go through all the areas you need to without having a mountain of aggro. But let's talk about this new bar that just came up.
Yep, that is the frenzy meter bar. When that fills up, there's like a little explosion of blood on your character and a good chunk of your health is gone. If that happens, that counts as a hit. But as it's building up, you will also gradually lose damage, like lose health. That does not count as a hit. That is considered environmental damage. Mostly because when people were first doing no hits in Bloodborne, they thought you couldn't avoid it. You actually can, but it's really annoying to do. And they weren't just going to say like, well, all of these runs are invalid now, so they just kept the rule as it is.
Yeah, and then the other way you would combat the frenzy in general would be using an item called a sedative. On this run, you don't get any sedatives at all. Like, they just don't exist. Well, they exist, but you don't pick them up, you don't grab them, you're not gonna buy them. That's another NPC.
Baby?
Yes, that's a baby.
Yeah, that was a baby.
That's a baby. Every time I...
We'll be running up to them soon.
Yeah, every time that I walk into this area, people are immediately like, is that a baby? Yeah, that's a baby. And I say it deadpan, just like that. Yeah. Because it's like, yeah, that's a baby, all right.
That's a baby I'm gonna kill.
Yeah. Baby's gotta die. It's the only way I can get out of here is if that baby dies. So we just
Hey, if
use
it's you and a kid, I respect it.
So we just use a blue elixir in this area because it's littered with a bunch of attendants, and some of them are super teeny tiny and cute. Other ones are not so small, but deadly. To be honest, they're all deadly.
Vanessa, I just want to say something real quick before you go into Mikolash. If you're like trying to make a like backup, I really recommend lowering that elevator.
I did.
Not that one, the one near Mikolash.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
It's then because you can run to it from the Mensis.
I know what you're talking about now. I was like, what? Because you're talking about the elevators over here.
Yep. I do that because it's...
Yeah.
Well, I usually just like run in and let it drop, but you can also get this
I was gonna
the
grab
lamp
the
that's
lamp.
right here.
I was going to actually add a comment about that because I've thought about that a couple of times while doing my runs in general. Because with me being a beginner no-hit runner, I very much consider myself a beginner. I know someone's going to be like, yeah, but you're good at it. And it's like, but I'm still, this is like my first one that I'm doing. I like to find all the nice little cozy strats for people who want to get into it. Because the other thing that's nice about no-hit runs is that there isn't, from what I understand, like an actualized time limit. Like, if you have to go slow to get your full file completed, that's fine. If not, kind of encouraged when you're first started. And then you could be like me and just be extremely impatient. I'm gonna drink water while Miko does his thing.
Cos.
Yes.
Or some say cosm. Do you hear our prayers? No, we shall not abandon the dream. No one can catch us. No one can stop us.
I can't figure out whether he has no neck or a really long neck. That thing on top of his head is throwing me off.
I hate it so much.
I'm trying to think which one would be funnier, like either no neck or really long neck.
It's the long neck. Long neck is funnier. I've thought about this often, unfortunately. Long neck is funnier.
Yeah.
And that is my headcanon, that Miko has a giraffe neck, and that's why he's wearing that cage. So Miko, I'm gonna say one thing and then let Ghost take it over. I hate this fight. I can't stand this man. He tires me. He makes me angry. He makes my booty itch. And he has a bunch of puppets, and they suck. Ghost, would you like to talk about this fight?
I'll do my best. So, the whole shtick with this guy is that he's like running around corridor to corridor, and it's basically a big game of cat and mouse. But what you can do is actually head him off, just like what she did, and he's now in like that little hallway. And in that hallway is where we want to fight him because there won't be any puppets to have to deal with, and he's just dancing.
Yeah, ladies and
Look
gentlemen,
at him moving.
Mikolash, a very deadly predator in the wild. A man with a cage on his head that is as long as his unseen neck. Contemplating the ways that he wants to torment you, but is so overblown by all of his options that he's just gonna instead walk in circles. No, but seriously, you want him to get in here and then try to get into the hallway? If I come into the hallway, he should straighten out. There we go.
Oh, he did.
There he's. Look at that stance. He's like, oh, I'm ready.
All right, I'm ready. I got it. I got it. I got it.
He was just dancing all alone privately in his room, and then you just come walking in. He's like, hey, who? Just threw his whole vibe off.
I did. I won't be made to feel bad about it either. See how bad I feel?
And there we go. So first phase is much better because all he can do to you is the Augur of Abritus. Second phase, it's more dangerous, especially on no hit because he can throw punches in and also has the Call Beyond spell, which I'm sure everyone who's ever played the game has died to before.
At least 4 times.
Which is basically that big star spell that like fires missiles everywhere.
Oh god, the howl. Oh, he's gonna go up.
He got some legs. He's
a jock. Like he's a
track
straight up jock. Like his punches also hurt. Like he is fit.
Oh, he ran in there. Okay, we're good. I killed that skeleton because if you don't kill that skeleton, despite the fact that I took the hit, that skeleton can and will follow you down here. And the skeletons, I think, are probably the worst part of the fight. Phase 2 is rough, but then skeletons are rough. And so now we're going to try and set up. So
there's a specific lineup you want to achieve to successfully perform a plunge attack on Mikolash as he tries to run into the cage.
I think I want to be about there.
It looks about right, yeah.
All right, let's do this. I had a feeling that was jacked up.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
the punches.
Yep.
Yeah, he throws hands pretty quickly too.
Oh yeah, he throws hands like it's no one's business. But that's fine. I'm actually going to go ahead and do Miko again, because that didn't feel too bad. So
look at him go. He is.
Look at the closed hand action too.
He's really ready to double axe handle you right there. You can see the fist balled up.
Phase 2, Miko's not playing with you. Phase 1, it was funny. Phase 1, he was trying to feel out how serious you were about fighting. Phase 2 is when he comes in. He's like, okay, bet. And then he gets, hey. Oh, I took it back up. That's why.
Yeah. You could tell how unserious he was in Phase 1. I swear I heard him yelling tee-hee as he was running through the hallways.
Yeah, he does.
That's accurate. Another reason I hate him. But we didn't get a chance to see the Call Beyond. And truth be told, that wasn't a...
We really don't want to.
We don't want to. That was actually a pretty decent Miko until, like, obviously I died. But...
yeah, it was.
Yeah, the first phase is nice and, like, clean. The second phase, the plunge attack is really... The plunge attack is good. It is not the end-all, be-all, but it is definitely, I think, for a lot of us, preferred.
Mm-hmm.
There are multiple ways you can actually deal with Mikolash. Mm-hmm. The plunge attack is kind of the more hands-on way. Mm-hmm. Another really popular method it involves, like, dropping into the cage room and, like, sneaking past Mikolash, and then killing, like, the puppet behind him. Mm-hmm. But you can actually, like, get him to, like, fall out of the mirror, and you just keep hitting him, and he just keeps falling out of it.
All right, so he's decided to just go straight in there this time.
Oh yeah, you got Swedish.
Is that what it's called, Swedish?
Yeah. When he takes the short option, they call that Swedish, because apparently Swedish speedrunners just kept getting that RNG and it stuck.
That is a story. So the first phase, he actually wants to fight you in here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna step in, and then he'll walk up, be like, all right, fine, I'm gonna come. And then we bring him out into this hallway. And you can take your time waiting on him too.
Ooh,
that was
I'm very
almost...
glad he didn't follow up with an auger.
Yeah, that could have been bad.
I love how the tentacle attack just feels like a desperation move on his part. He's just like, I'm trying to get out of this.
Mm-hmm. It really does. And so you can see here, if he decides he wants to go back in the room, you can just course correct that and be like, no, you're not going back in the room. He's very, very easy to manipulate in the first phase, I find. The second phase is just where he's super dangerous, because he'll punch you, he'll auger you, he will call beyond you, and call beyond is not a joke. And I'm going to go ahead and say now, Ghost, I know that the strategy exists. I am not going to even attempt to try it.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that unless you, like, already seen it in action, because it's a little specific. Because you probably don't even know which mirror I'm talking about.
All right, so we got the skeleton. He's gone.
There goes the tee-hee.
Oh, I hate this man.
Yep, there he goes.
I hate him so much. So let's see if we can get another good plunge. So another thing that's really important about this room that I want to kind of highlight is that when you plunge, we got him to stop in the door, which is what we wanted. But if you look back there, there's a skeleton. You don't really want him going past those two banisters because you don't want that skeleton to aggro. If you can keep him further up front, that is a much safer alternative. If he gets kind of squirrely and starts moving around in the room, then you have a chance of getting that skeleton to wake up. About here? Yeah. This looks right. Also, what does get these out of here? Don't need those. All right. Contact, round 2.
Oh, it actually got him. Good.
Yep.
So the way Mikolash works in phase 2 is that if you attack him 3 times, he will actually aggro.
Oh shit.
The skeleton's aggroed.
Yep, I see him. Oh. All right, we'll just go grab Murgo. That's fine, because I don't want to use up all my papers. But yeah, so you got a chance to see Call Beyond, and that is thanks to Ghost, because Ghost has a fantastic how-to guide that's out there on the interwebs that you should definitely go check out. If you see a Call Beyond coming, there's a couple of ways that you can get around it without having to use the quote-unquote strat. One strat that I just deployed was based on where he was. I went up the stairs because while it is a blossoming attack, it doesn't have height. So it's always going to hit in that perfect spherical shape. By elevating yourself, you can get away from a lot of it, but if he's like close to the stairs, that's not going to work. Another thing you want to do is make sure that he is standing in that hallway, and if he does it there, then luckily all of the stuff around you will kind of take care of that conversation because it'll just block it. The third super pro thing you can do is that there's a teeny tiny little sweet spot on the right side, no, on the left side of Miko, which is to the right of you, that you can stand in, and it just misses. It just misses. It's great. Oh wow, we was doing that on the Shadows Post thing. That makes me feel a lot better, actually. I forgot that we were on there for that long.
Yeah, you did well.
Forgot we were on there for that long.
What we're skipping isn't terribly important. We just like ran past a bunch of pigs and some shadows.
Yeah, like quite literally, it's another case where you watch an elevator come up, you touch a lamp, you go up a set of stairs, you pop an elixir, and you literally just run past a bunch of trash. I mean, if you want...
And there's Queen Yarnum. Hello.
There's Queen Yarnum. If you want, you can see that they're right there. And hey, look! Those look exactly like some attacks we were dealing with earlier. Because who doesn't miss... What in the world? Because who was in chat missing the Shadows of Yarnum? Who was really, really hoping to see them again? It's not
My hand is raised.
It's not raised. You're ugly.
I miss the snakes in a trench coat.
I hate it so much. And so this would be the last fight of the any % run. And then after that, I'm actually going to do a spot check one time to make sure that we do not run over. Hey, ma'am, fix the ladder or elevator. So this is the final fight. And at this point...
I do that too. I call it like ladders, elevators, and stuff.
And they go up and down. It's whether it's manual or automated.
The thing that's taking me places. So a couple of important things about this fight. First and foremost, if you made it this far and your first time run, congratulations. Secondly, this is a case where quite literally your resources and stuff, it is now like sky's the limit. All 5 of these pallets of papers belong to her. And you can retry this until you're out of resources. Because again, you don't have a way to replenish them. But we're going to try and get this. There's a couple of important things that are going to happen. And as usual, I'm going to be focusing on the fight. And yes, the baby is back. Oh no, there's babies in chat.
Baby Rage is in chat.
So shout out, you guys should check out the original cutscene for this boss. It was way better.
Yes.
So Murgo's Wet Nurse is a little bit like Shadows in that there's like no like stagger lock strat or anything like that. You just fight her. But she's like way less complex than them. The idea is that you want to get to her sides so that you can avoid that flurry attack that she does. As you can probably tell, that looks like something you could not get out of no hit. Oh, and she's doing it right away. Okay, so what Vanessa just did was dodge something called Nightmare Phase, where when she pulls it off, there is this like purple like cloud that fills up the entire arena, and for 50 seconds you're being pursued by her and a clone of herself. And that is...
That sounds like a nightmare.
There's no consistent way to get through that no-hit. You just gotta pray that you don't get hit. I don't know who discovered that you can actually dodge it, because it doesn't look like something you could dodge, but I'm glad they did.
Right. Yep, I saw that coming. Because for the first time ever, she actually did the double spin cycle on me, which is fine. I have.
That's another.
You're tearing,
I feel like that's another case of big boss
through her, though.
My favorite part about this is still the baby crying in the background.
Yeah. Oh, something else we should point out. If you remember the music box from Gascoigne, the tune that plays when you use it is the same tune that's being played in this boss fight.
This is Gascoigne's mom? Is that the lore?
You know, I actually have heard that is a theory, but I'm not sure if it's how substantial it is.
I'm not upset about that. I did get hit with the double spin cycle, but yeah.
I just noticed, in all the other boss fights, there's actually a little rain of blood that happens after you kill the boss. For her, it's feathers.
So for everyone who's been highlighting the baby, a couple of things. You see it says Nightmare Slain and not Prey Slaughtered. Prey Slaughtered is what you usually get at the end of bosses, right? Well, in this case, you did slaughter the prey, but you also killed a nightmare. And the reason you killed a nightmare is because the wet nurse is not the nightmare. The baby is. Baby's the nightmare. And the baby would be upside down in this.
No more crying. So, you know what? I agree. The nightmare is over.
I hate it so much. I
think you should fight Gehrman.
You think? But I don't know the Gehrman fight. Unless you're gonna train me on the fly. I mean, I still am always here to just kill Gehrman. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know that I will pull it off.
Yeah. I just think it'd be fun.
Can I level up first?
Yeah.
So for everyone watching, because this is a showcase, like I said, I knew that we weren't gonna get a full any % run, and that's fine because I am still in the process of getting better about it. The very, very honest to earnest thing about this is if we would have continued my file, everything that I did today probably still would have been a PB. I think I need to go ahead and just put another recorded run on the books, Ghost. I'm pretty sure that PB is out of date. I
dust off those splits.
Yeah, just go ahead and knock that out. But everything's on fire, and at the end of any %, you would just go talk to Gehrman. Now, I am going to ask a request from the tech really fast on how we look on time. Because... Oh, okay, cool. All right. Ghost.
We got how much?
5 minutes.
You have come.
I'm going to go try it.
Don Gehrman.
Yeah.
Everyone, I need you to understand intimately, I have never done this fight no hit. So I have no idea how this is about to go. None. I don't even know how much strength I should put. You know what? That looks nice. How about that?
I mean, it's just the end of the run, right?
It's the end of the run.
I believe the phrase is smoke him if you got him.
I'm doing it. All right, madam. Let's go. I do not know this.
So normally you would speak to Gehrman and choose the yes, you're going to submit your life. But we're going to have fun instead.
Because we got 5 minutes to burn. So, again, he'll talk to you and you would submit your life. But because we're going to entertain Ghost curiosity and because I like beating up Gehrman because he's a creep, we're going to refuse. Again, I cannot stress enough, I have never done this fight no hit, so I am going to get bodied. Oh god, cat aggro.
Dear, oh dear. What was it? The hunt?
You know, it's such a shame about Gehrman because, a lot of, stuff, related to him I really like. I love his cutscene, I love his boss, I love his theme. I just hate him.
It doesn't matter.
The deep lore of Gehrman makes you hate him very quickly. Which sucks, because he also has arguably the dopest battlefield.
This is MGS3 in-game vibes right here.
Hunters help her to clean up
with the white flower field.
Tonight, Gammon joins the hunt.
I hate this man.
Did he just introduce himself like a Smash Bros character?
He did.
Yes.
In the third person too?
Yep.
Haha! Get pumped up, nerd! Get away from me. Yeah, you can parry Gehrman. I at least know that much. Bro!
That's like a thing with like final fight and the Souls games, right? The final bosses are usually parryable.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, there's Gwen. There's... I don't think Nishandra is, but...
Oh, man.
Cinder can't...
Yeah, I don't think you can with
Definitely
Cinder.
can't do it with King Alance.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's actually only Gehrman and Gwen.
Call him punks to their face. I'm not gonna call him a punk to his face. So I am so terrified right now because I got so many good hits off, and now I'm like, oh right, this is the final fight. So now everyone gets to watch me actually play the game, which is, you know, depending on your thing. Maybe you're into it, maybe you're not. Oh, I didn't expect those bullets to get that far. But as you can see...
Oh yeah, they cover a lot.
As you can see, though, I do very little damage.
Yeah, this is what happens when you are at +8 and don't have all your gems, but normally that would not matter.
Wow, those do like no damage almost.
Yeah, I wonder if it's distance, because I feel like I've been killed, or maybe I have.
Yeah, it might be if either distance or like a pellet thing, right? Because the further you're out,
Yeah.
less pellets that are hitting you.
It is the blunderbuss. I hate this man. I have to just let my hatred guide me. I have to let my hatred guide me. That's what it is.
Oh, stage 2?
Okay. Scary phase.
I want him to do jump up one time.
Oh shit.
Oh, I didn't realize. I forgot that fight. No, it's fine. I'm okay dying to that because I got him down at pretty far for me to never practice him at that low, so I'm not upset about it. But yeah, there it is. So, that was the showcase. I do no hit runs and I'm practicing them still. I think
I do no hit runs a lot too.
I think that means that we're on time though, and we should be getting ready for the next run, I believe. So for everyone who encouraged me to go ahead and put this into the showcase though, I do want to say thank you because I was very scared. I was very nervous. I was very afraid that people were going to be like, this run is garbage, she's bad, all these other things. But even with like the stuff that we did today, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun, and I
had fun too.
And it was a lot of fun to witness.
And I got to cosplay. But after this, I am going to go get a beer and scratch my boobie. That's what I'm going to do.
Have one for me.
Fantastic.
Like I said, this was an amazing showcase to witness. I learned a lot in just sitting here and just asking questions and seeing how certain bosses have like such simple patterns when you're like not panicking and just like, you know what, I'm just gonna break your kneecaps and I'm gonna break your elbows up and just have you sit there just on the floor screaming. I actually really enjoyed this.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things too, if you're ever watching something like this, speed runs, challenge runs, anything of that sort, something I want to just let everybody know is that it takes time. It takes a lot of practice. A lot of people have been watching me practice this live over on my channel, and they've seen me transform from someone who was absolutely mortified to get into the tombstone and actually like touch the box and be like, to just being like, I like the Daddy Gassy fight. Hey, watch this. And I just kick him in his kneecaps a bunch and I'm like, this is fun. But it takes time, it takes patience, it takes a lot of efforts. And I am not upset with what we had today because if anything, you also got to see lots of varieties, lots of different things that can happen, lots of different kind of incidents that will cause you to lose your run. And some of them were very much operator error. They were very much my fault and my problem. But other things, you learn to like kind of take it with the punches. And this was really helpful for me shaking off the idea of, oh, but what if I go on GDQ and I don't get a no hit? And it's like, you know what? I had a good time. So that's the end goal. I had a good time. Plus I got the cosplay. Look at these contacts. Can you see this?
The vibes were immaculate and unmatched, and that was obviously the most important thing. We were here to showcase the hit list percent, and you did a very good job of showing us how these runs would go. And Ghost, you did an amazing job of explaining everything as it was happening. Like I said, I'm sure I learned a lot, and I'm sure chat has also learned a lot. I hope this has inspired a lot of people to get into this because this looks like a really fun challenge.
It is. I will also say I think it's a good entry-level challenge, if I'm being really, really honest. It's 8 bosses. Once you get a good cadence going, you can clear the run if you didn't stop to like do other things. Probably, I think I can get a run front to back in about 1 hour and 15 minutes. Ghost, being the rock star that she is, can do this actual run in about 48 minutes. So it's a really short and cozy run. It's actually a really cozy run. And you learn a lot about the game and the process because all the things you learn in this run carries over to when you want to do any percent and like DLC bosses and all that good stuff. But thank you so much, everybody, for having me. It is greatly appreciated. I'm going to go back to being the PM behind the scenes that just puts this event together and have a beer. You can catch me on my channel. Yeah, you can catch me on my channel on twitch.tv/PleasantlyTwstd.
Make sure you're following PT.
I do stuff like this live. I do speedruns live, and we have a good time, and we drink wine, and we kick it. And then, Ghost, where can people find you?
Twitch.com, GoesOnGhost.
You sound so timid. You're just like, Twitch channels?
Twitch. I'm on Twitch somewhere.
Yes.
I think someone else in chat also mentioned that they could also find you at www.bloodborne.wiki.
Bloodborne Wiki.
That is...
Go ahead.
That is definitely not me who's behind that website. I want to make sure everyone understands that. That's
definitely
Mephi.
not you, but you are, from everything that I've like picked up, that you are definitely a walking Bloodborne wiki.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes. That's true.
Well, and just the same, this is the other reason I want my run is because I want to do builds with Ghost in collaboration because with our powers combined, if we didn't find it, we can safely say probably it doesn't exist. I'm making a bold statement, but I feel like that's accurate.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. All right, let's get out of here because we got another run after this. We have another run after this.
Yeah, we do. We got one more run, the final run of the night, and it's one that I've been looking forward to for a long time. Another run that I'm looking forward to for a long time. It is Resident Evil Village of Shadows New Game Plus by the one and only Shin Domino. This is going to be, if you guys know anything about Village, you guys know Village is a ride of a game. And if you guys know anything about Village of Shadows, that is a very, very hard difficulty. Like, as far as like scaling within most horror games or games in general, like Village of Shadows is a very, very hard difficulty. So this is going to be a run to watch. So I would say, everybody take your time and freshen up and get ready for the last run because this one's going to be a doozy.